speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in hand. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance tonight, wanna stop the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never stop, as we shine tall. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Let's try. Do we have audio now, please? Please, audio? I think so. I guess we'll try again. Ah, my goodness. Technology these days. Do you have audio, please? I really hope you do have audio. I think we fixed the audio. At least it seems like the audio is popping here, so I should have audio. And before it didn't really move, so I assume that there is audio. Thank you. So I guess let's restart. Hello, Welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dina, and I'm having a drops pattern here, which is the Thoughts of Ireland. And as always, I tend to mess up these drops patterns. This is where we are at, and the last 2 rows are wrong, which means the last 2 rows are correct if I was at the last 3 rows, but I'm not. So I need to either frog it or run the free run, so to say, and do my own design, which I'm basically not in the mood to do. But I'm really sad about the frogging part as well. So I am going to tell you guys where I totally went wrong in this pattern, and we will have a look at it. So give me a moment just to find that screen. Let's see. That should be this one. Yes. And if I do this, I should be able to pop up in that screen. Yep, let's do like this. So, here we have the pattern for the Thoughts of Ireland. This is the final look. Hopefully everything goes right. And all the way down here, we have these diagrams, which I've been working from. And first you work off, so 5A and 5B, and then you proceed to 6A and 6B. So what I've done is, the last 2 rows is up here. I've worked those, and then I need to insert the next row, which is down here. Except, apparently, these 2 are first to be worked down here. At least that's what I'm understanding from it. Which basically means I get to frog it, because this row, so this row here, is this row down here. Not very clear to me, but that appears to be what it is, because I sat down and I was actually reading this whole section here. Yeah. So I need to decide if I'll frog it or if we'll try again, so to say, because I am missing all this. And when I'm holding up the shawl, it's just not very big. So let's see. It's, well, it is big in the sense of, but it's not like super big. And it will increase also when blocked in size. But I feel I'm missing some, and I'm still like having 2 full skeins left. So I could be creative, but I think I'll probably be better off frocking it. So yeah, that's where we are at. I will probably have to frock this, and then we will start crocheting some rows, I guess. Not sure how far we will get today. I had hoped to finish this one this week. I can tell you one thing for sure: it's not happening, because, well, other things happened, and then I made mistakes, like spending 2 rows on something that's not correct. Hallelujah. I do believe you might want me to you might want to see the progress. At least last time we did that. So what I will do, I think, is that I'm going to change to like a dual camera view, and then you can like watch what I'm doing while I'm doing it, though it is like you will get it from kind of if you were sitting at the table across me, so to say. But before getting there, I may need to change around a few things. Give me a moment, please. So that will be my face on my PC webcam. And then I'm going to see if I can flip this one around, which you may have a little experience with me seeing here. So that would be me. Yeah, that's working okay. Sorry about that. And let's see. So, ta-ta. I'm wearing a poncho. That's alpaca in-lines poncho. The pattern for that poncho is in the description box down below for those that's interested. As we are here with the whole shawl, I am afraid, and I'm afraid that seems to be the most logic progress here, is to frock this whole piece, which I'm not happy about because it was a lot of work. And I remember having to take a break through half of these kind of fan things, which are kind of gorgeous. But yeah, I'm going to frock them regardless, which, it's a bummer. It's a nice, fine 100% alpaca yarn. Very fine, though. I'm using a 3.25mm crochet hook for it. And I'm just basically winding it up on the ball I have. It might be, there might be better ways of doing it. I am not going to argue about that. But this is basically me frocking, and I'm not happy about it. Nope. But I think it's going to be the best end result. Because right now my brain is just not in a mode where it can freestyle a pattern. I think I'll just follow it. So I'll basically just learn my lesson, which I thought I had already. So I thought it was so simple just following these diagrams, but the conclusion is basically that I did not, because I didn't read the instructions. I just went straight into following the diagrams. Sometimes reading the instructions is a good idea. So, ladies, gentlemen, what are you working on right now? If you're working on a project, please let me know. Please let me know. I will start working, of course, as soon as this has been frogged. And I wanted to actually make a little zoom here, but apparently I am unable to zoom in this format. I thought I would be able to, but it doesn't allow me to. Because when I try to zoom it, I get this error saying I can't zoom when I'm in this resolution. So I hope you're okay with what you can see. This is basically just me preparing to, and this is a lot of yarn, right? Like this row is like, look at how much is already wound up here, and I'm like halfway through. It's bummer. It was, I wouldn't say it was quick to make, but it was simple to make because it was like 4 double crochets, chain 3, 4 double crochets, single crochet around the next chain space, and then it was like 4 double crochets, 3 chains, 4 double crochets around the next, and then etc, etc. So it was simple enough to do. It just took time. And what I hate is right now that I'm having the feeling that I'm undoing all this time because I'm sitting here and I'm just unraveling. Probably not the most interesting, but I am far from the first that's done this, and I'm far from the last. And I still don't know why I do these drops patterns, because I don't know. It's my nemesis. It was a question I had last night from a friend, and I said, well, I have the yarns, and I bought the yarns with the intention of doing specific patterns. And now you're telling me I probably shouldn't. Now, I'm not working like that. I plan to do this, so I am gonna do this kind of person. And now I'm honestly, I guess, not 100% sure, but I'm still doing this. The day of frocking. But that's okay. We are getting closer to the end here. And then the other row is quick because that's like a half double and a chain and another half double. So that's pretty simple, at least. Guess we gotta look at the positive side of things. And then we can jump into the pattern and see what I was actually supposed to be doing. And now I will be really sad if I was supposed to be doing what I did, because that would really suck. I have to say, from 100% alpaca yarn, this frock's easier than what I had expected. So that's positive. That is positive. So yes, for those that rejoined the show here, I am frocking the last 2 rows because, of course, I made a mistake. And the mistake I made is, I really hope this is not where I also had the join. Oh, that would be really bad. That is simply because that I had not read the whole pattern, of course, when I started on those rows. So, but we're getting there. I'm getting there. And I was debating on should I freestyle or shouldn't I, but I decided to frock it and follow the pattern. Hello, Suzanne. Welcome to the live. Wonderful to see you. I hope you're well. Here I'm just continuously frocking, getting closer to the end, and then we will have a look at the pattern to ensure that I'm doing the right thing, because clearly I were not. Because I did not read the whole pattern through before I just followed the diagram. Bad of me. We are soon having a bunch of yarn here, but I'm not sure if I want to wind all that up because I'll probably crochet that up in a few, because I only need to go to the very end of this row. Now I need to pay attention for a minute, so we'll flip this around. Do, and then one more. That's it. Just shortly inserting my stitch marker to keep track of the yarn. And then we are going to have a good look at the pattern. Because, yeah, we don't want to frock again. So we do have this one. We pop over here. And, well, now you don't see my face because that's a different one I have on. I can, let's see. For some reason. It's because I have a different cam for that one. Fair enough. Well, that's okay. We can actually just pop me off for a second like this. So what I frocked was these 2 top rows here because I thought I had to do that, but apparently this lovely fat marker is basically referring to when you're at the very end and is about to start these last rows, then you need to do that, which is totally confusing. Not sure why, but fair enough. So basically, I'm quite sure this row here is this row here. So I need to process to this or progress to this row, which is these funky ones with a pointy on, and we have some chains in between. So what we do want to know is, of course, what are those? And we can roll up to see here. It's a double crochet around the chain space and with 1 chain stitch between. So it should be simple. And if I don't remember wrong, out here, these are chain 2 or chain 3. Let's see. Chain 3. Chain 3. So I will have to chain 3. Actually, I have to chain 4 because I start with a chain. And then I work in a double crochet around, chain 1, double crochet around, chain 1, 1 double crochet, etc. That seems simple, right? That seems simple. Hello, Sarah. Wonderful to see you. And sorry that you can't stay. Hope your appointment will be going well. and happy that you left your DNA. Definitely happy that you did so. I am back with you guys. And Roberta tells that she's making a Christmas table mandala, pot holders and smaller mandalas on the top for microwave sets. Sorry, that's a lot of work. That is definitely a lot of work. Are you like planning on giving them away for Christmas, or is it for your own home decoration? So 3.25 millimeter crochet hook. The yarns are the Throughts Alpaca. Actually, I will grab the label here, which is looking like this absolutely gorgeous 100% alpaca yarn from Drops. It's 1.8 ounces gains to 167 meters, so 183 yards, 100% alpaca. And it's this heathered look I have on them. So we'll start by chaining 4. We had to turn the work around. And in the first chain space here, we had to work in a double crochet. And then we had to chain 1 and then to work in another double crochet. And then chain 1 and a single double crochet around the next chain space. And then chain 1. And the next chain space, we have a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So it seems to be, this is a row I can do within reasonable pace, I would say. Oh, that is if I don't lose the yarn off the hook. And then I need to keep track of if I did 1 or 2 double crochets in the chain space, because the next was just a single. But that seems okay for how it's working up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Next I need 2, etc. I'm just gonna flip this a little bit around so it's easier to work with, but it's bunch. Oh, you're making it for yourself. That's wonderful. That is definitely wonderful. I really have some, like, it is acrylic, but it has metallic lyrics in it in red and green upstairs, and I wanted to maybe like make a star-shaped blanket for like a Christmas tree blanket that goes under the Christmas tree. But then it's a blanket, and knowing my pace with blankets, I'm not so sure it's gonna happen. But it's still in my stash. It's waiting for me to make a decision on what I'll be making from it. So, yeah. There is that. And I need to... Yeah, I need to do many things. I really need to do a bunch of things. I've checked into... I have daily tasks that I have to do from the unemployment agency. Like you need to check in if you have mails. You need to write applications, or at least make sure that you have done some sort of activity of trying to get a job. Need to send proof of that, of course. But they also want so many other things. I have to get used to that. Then I've been trying to get a hold of my of the people at the company, because I still have my working equipment standing here and it was supposed to be returned. But right now I don't seem to be able to. I haven't heard from the company that I used to work for about the working equipment I still have here at home. And I have like 2 full boxes, like moving boxes of equipment, which I would really like them to pick up. But I haven't heard anything. And they said that they would mail me about it, but not a word yet. Not a word yet. Hello, Sanita. Wonderful to have you with us. I hope you're having a good day, or a good morning at least. And I would say grab your crochet stuff and hang out. I just frocked the last 2 rows of this shawl because I forgot how to read the pattern apparently. Which basically means that I did something I should first do later. So I frocked it, and then we are back at doing a new row of this pattern. So we still have some bits to go, and we will see how far we'll get. I had hoped to finish this shawl this week, but I know right now that it will not happen because then I would have had to be closer to finished by now. And later this week, I am heading away. I will not be home this weekend, which means that maybe I can finish it next week, which would be nice. Oh, coffee and bacon. Well, I have coffee and tea. And I realize we haven't talked about my tea today, which is just an Earl Grey with lemon. Classic, lovely, great. And it's right over here at my right side of my working station. So grab teas, grab coffees if you don't, or if you haven't yet. Not sure where Nightbot is because he should be hanging around, but he seems to be absent. He seems to be absent. He is registering that there is something. He's just not popping in yet. Okay, fair enough. It's a wonderful color. Yes, I do believe it's called olive. The yarn is called olive, the color. Which of course is a drops yarn, so that makes logic to use a drops yarn for a drops pattern. I just need to read. That's usually where it goes wrong, and sometimes when I do read, it's just not formulated very cleverly. And there we have Nightbot. Bit late, but better late than never. When you talk about the sun, it shines. Except it doesn't shine out here right now. It's been a bit of a grey day. It's not been raining, it's been dry, it's just no real sun is coming through. And the autumn is really here. Like, it's chilly compared to last week. So it's definitely poncho time. And the poncho I'm wearing is the poncho, also in the description box down below, which I do believe is a paid pattern from Hobby. Roberta says she's using a 4-weight green, white, red yarn. It's variegated for her Christmas table mandala and pot holders, etc. Oh, that's wonderful, actually. It should be working up reasonably quickly, right? It's still like lots of work, but it should be working up reasonably quickly. I do have to say, the last month have definitely helped me decompress and de-stress from some of the work. Right now, I just really want to get my work equipment sent back, but I'm not really sure why I haven't heard back from the people yet. I should check if I might have gotten an email, but I don't think so. I had 2, then it's 1. Oh, there is something, but I have the feeling it's not related to that. No, it's something else. Do. Nope, not related to work. Hello, Amanda. Welcome in. You held out long last night after I went to bed. It's Lily Cotton and it's going pretty quickly. That's nice. Hello, Kim. Welcome. And I would say grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And yeah, wake up and say hello. And Amanda, guess what? I decided to frog those 2 rows because that made most sense to me. And I couldn't put my head into working up something new, like being creative or something like that. I just was like, no, not in a brain for it. Oh, that went too quickly. So I did end up frocking it, which you can see right here. This is basically all yarn I frocked up. So, yep. There is being said good morning to everyone. I would say good afternoon, because it is afternoon here in Central Europe. It is 2:35 p.m. Central European time. It's Wednesday. For those doing the hobby bingo, it would be Denmark today that's having their bingo, and that is at 2 p.m. Eastern, so that is at 8 p.m. Central European time. I will not be live at that time because, well, I have other things to do. Because I do have a family that depend on me cooking dinner, amongst things. Kim, it is 2:35 p.m. here. 2:35. So it's in the middle of the afternoon. And I admit I went up a bit later today than normal because I was wrecked from yesterday, apparently. I really needed sleep. I had even tried to do like a power nap yesterday afternoon, but that didn't really help much. So apparently I just needed the extra rest. It was like one of those days. And it sounds really wrong, but right now I'm really happy that I'm unemployed, because had I been having a job, then I would definitely not have had the time to just keep crashing in bed, right? Sometimes we can appreciate certain situations. So yeah. And yesterday it was one of those days where, and today for that matter, where it was good that I didn't have a job because I was I was just so wrecked, and I don't even know why, right? I'm still waiting to hear from the unemployment agency that they actually approved it, but we're waiting. Yeah. We also on winter time, which you would call daylight savings, I presume. we changed to winter time about 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Last weekend of October. 2 weeks ago. It was only 2 weeks difference this time. Oh, I made a mistake here. One moment. I forgot to add a chain between those two double crochets. So yeah, we do daylight savings as well. There is normally a 6 hours time difference between Central Europe and Eastern, if you're in the Eastern US, like New York or Florida. There is usually 6 hours difference between us, but there is always, every year, a moment where there's either 5 or 7 hours difference, and that's when we go back and forth in time, because apparently we never do it the same weekend, which is so confusing. Like, why couldn't they agree worldwide on when to do it? That would be so much more convenient for everyone. Even like businesses and people doing business stuff, right? They also, time zone wise, sometimes struggling keeping track. So I really don't understand why. Like, one thing is that we are doing it, but couldn't they just sit down and agree on when? That would be nice. Thank you very much. Kim says my talent is amazing. Not sure if it's my crochet talent or if we're talking about other talents in life, such as keeping track of time. Because I do tend to get confused around those times when we can't, when we don't change at the same time. Hello, Dawn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She's saying hello to all the beautiful people here in the live. And yes, 1 week after, but sometimes it's even 2 or 3 weeks. It seems to be a bit different. It's like not standard all time, always the same time, which is confusing. I guess we could go Google for when it happens in the spring. Yes. Well, nobody never wants to make things easy. I don't know why that's like, Jesus, people aren't really into easy things, right? Where I'm like, I like to have things simple, which is why, as dearest Amanda say, Stina, why are you keeping doing these straps patterns? They are shit. And I'm like, yeah, they are, but oh goodness, one moment. My yarn decided to drop on the floor. Because I had a plan, and I usually try to stick to my plans. And well, yeah. It's working up nicely. But I'm annoyed with having to have frocked a bit of it to redo it. It was probably like the first 15 minutes of this live, that was me frocking this shawl, I think. Yeah. That seems pretty accurate. So but we are getting closer towards the end. We are definitely, oh my goodness, I can't keep track of these stitches. We're definitely past halfway, just about, a bit more than halfway of this row. This is, I both enjoy and hate these pattern where the rows keep increasing, right? because like somehow it would be nice if it was opposite. um, but that's because it keeps taking longer and longer, so it's more and more difficult to assess how long it's gonna take you. And I gifted away a shawl this weekend, another green shawl, which I made last year, for the initial design for the leafy shawl, and it was received well, and I was giving it as a birthday gift. And I do believe there were definitely some ladies there realizing the amount of work that had been put into it. And I was asked how long I spent on it, and I had to admit I actually didn't know, because back then I would often end up sitting and crocheting if there wasn't much to do at work. Then it was just like, it was a way to get time moving. So I actually don't know. But at the same time, I have the same with this. Like many of my shawls, I don't time myself. I just make them, right? Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't time myself. I'll just make it. Like, do you know how long it takes you to make a specific project? Or you just sit down and make it? Do you ever think about it? Like, it's important to keep in track of that. Of course, what we do is it's loved labor, right? Like, we all enjoy what we're doing, and it might take time, but I think it's most important is the process. Like, I'll do it for the process, and maybe sometimes I'll do it for a bit of cash, but generally it's a way to decompress thoughts, working with hands, keeping busy. I think it's great for the car, because if I'm just a passenger and I'm not having much to do as a co-driver, then I can go a bit sleepy, and then I could end up sleeping. Or if I bring a crochet project, then I'm actually still awake, which makes me much more nice as a co-driver to the person that's actually driving, because we can talk about things, even though that I'm crocheting on something on the side. The only thing is I tend to find projects that's not very demanding, because then I only need to focus on actually crocheting. Like, I can just, find something which is simple back and forth. Um, and it's going to be much easier. Also, because if it's more complicated, it's nice to have patterns with you. And that's a little bit more, it takes a bit more in the car. And of course, two big projects isn't very handy either, because that takes up space. Let's see. 1, 2. Yep, we are definitely getting closer towards the end here. And then we can have a look at what's next. And then I'll probably end up crying if I realize that frocking was unnecessary, but Oh well. So if you're rewatching this live, thank you very much for the rewatch if you made it this far. And I would absolutely love to know if you time your crochet projects or if you just have a rough idea of how long specific things take. You know, when I was asked, I was just saying, I don't know, but lots of time. That was basically my reply. I was like, I don't know, but it took a lot of time. Um, which is true. So we're still doing well here. So that's nice. It looks like the next rows, if I'm not wrong, it might contain some trebles. But we will have to see when we get there. I was debating shortly this afternoon if I should have gone live or not. I ended up deciding to do so. Though, that said, I am not going to be around for many hours because I do have to do stuff where my family relies on me for it. And that's definitely more expected for me to be doing on time because I'm currently unemployed, so I have more time to do things. And that's fair enough. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. I've also been debating on like making, I wouldn't call it studio vlogs, but I guess a little bit more like it, like day-to-day thing. But maybe that's more for February. Because I also need to consider if I want a web shop or not, because so many people have said to me that I should be selling my makes, and maybe I should indeed attempt to do so, right? Like, at least it can maybe pay for my yarn, which would be nice. And I also want to, there's so many things I want to get. I want to buy more yarn, but I don't have room. So first I need to make up. I need to clear out some space by probably both selling some makes and crocheting up some yarn, which is fair enough. Which is fair enough. So, assuming you had a couple of $100 or euros for that matter, could you, if you wanted to, right now, go out and get some yarn? Like, could you afford it to go out and shop yarn? And if you could so, do you have room for it? Right? But you have room for yarn. This is not adding up. So how am I going to do this? Because this is not adding up. But it's also not adding up on this, which is the confusing part. Good Lord. I'm not happy. So I ended on a double crochet, but I have the feeling because I started on 2 doubles in that chain space, I should also do the same here. But I don't see how I can unless I do it there. My goodness. Maybe that's what we'll do. Hello, Jeannie. Thank you, thank you. I'm very happy with it also. I made it this spring. Let's see how this is gonna work out. And then space and... Or was that meant as I'm supposed to be skipping that whole thing? That could also be the case, of course. But then that's skipping. That's not making sense. Because that would make me skip the whole thing. No. I don't feel like that's supposed to be the case. I used the In-Lines Alpaca Poncho by, I do believe it's a Tina Summer Hansen design. I linked to the pattern description box down below. Let's see if I can actually do this without. Winging it all. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. It's a drops design pattern. Not drop, sorry, hobby pattern, the poncho. And what I can do is, well, it's not the best view actually. Yeah. Anyhow, we are right now at the next piece and I winged it, which I'm not sure I should have done. So I'm just going to see how this is plausibly looking a bit. It does look a bit funky at the sides at some places. But yeah, maybe that's just how it is. It might work out. It's a little bit too on the edge, but well, it's how it's gonna be. And if I pop over here, we have the pattern, which I'm working on. And the next piece is this section. So we have one of these with a, which is probably like a treble. At the beginning of row, 4 chain stitches. Finish with a treble. Okay, and we it's probably just like a treble around the chain space, I think. Yes, treble around the chain space. So the next row is chain 4, then treble crochet around the chain space, chain 3, treble around the chain space, chain 1, and skip those with the single crochets, etc. That's okay, that's simple enough. I can do that. But what I probably should do, because I see it's not fitting here, is to check that it's actually, that I don't need to frock it halfway through, which I would be really sad about. So let's check that it's actually, this row is actually completed correctly. Yep, double. This is just trying me to secure that I don't need to frock again. I have a feeling I might end up doing it, but I'm trying to prevent it. Double, double, double trouble. Yeah, so far it looks correct. It doesn't look like I skipped any, so I'm not really sure how it wasn't aligned up, but anyhow, goody. Goody, goody, goody. So, a bunch of treble crochets this is. A bunch of treble crochets. So what we'll do is we start by chaining 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I turn the work around. And then between these double crochet spaces, I work in a treble. So I start by yarning over twice, inserting my hook in that space, and then we'll work in a treble. Then I need to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I need to work in another treble in that same chain space. That gives this like sort of fan feeling of the following row. Then I chain 1. We make a new treble, so we skip where we have the single crochet here, and then we go into the next section where we have the 2 in the previous rows. So yeah, it seems okay. That should be possible here from here on out. And then we chain 3, and we work in a treble. 2, 3, chain 1. You basically skip 2 chain spaces, and then in the third you work in the trebles. So that wasn't a treble. Then you chain 3, and you work in another treble in the same space. Then you chain 1, prepare for a treble, you skip 2 chain spaces and work in a treble in the next. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work in a treble in that same chain space where you just had the other treble. And we'll do that all the way to the end of this row, which is going to be quite a distance. But the benefit is, of course, we are skipping a gap of 2 every time. 2, 3. So it's actually not that much which is in this row. Two, 3, triple. So this is, let's see if I can actually make it. So it looks looking like something here on the table. But it is kind of spreading out here due to those trebles and the many chains. So I do hope you're enjoying yourself and that you are progressing on whatever make that you're working on. And if you haven't done it yet, please hit that thumbs up button. That does support me. And if you do have any questions for me, feel free to ask them. I am here to answer them. Because right now we are just chilling out, doing a bunch of chains and trebles. So nothing too crazy. Of course, if you are all right now working on projects, I also understand that if you aren't very chatty, because you know it does take your hands to type a message, or maybe you're just not the chatty type. But we do not bite here. We are all very nice and kind people who all have a small yarn addiction. We either like to crochet or knit, and we definitely like yarn. And you know that buying yarn is a different hobby than working up the fibers. It's 2 different hobbies. I do have a hobby that's buying yarn, and I have a hobby that's crocheting. But my yarn buying hobby is on a limit right now because I have 2 issues. I need more cash, and I have too much in my stash that I need to spend up. So I need to shop my stash for projects, which is not a problem because I have plenty of opportunities to do so. This is also why I want to do the drops patterns, quote unquote. The hope is that I will be able to finish up some of my drop yarns and definitely learn which projects I will not want to do again. Not sure if this one is one of the I want to do again, because honestly, it's looking gorgeous, but it's not a pattern that calls for my immediate love. It has these sort of bubble stitches. They look gorgeous, but the work of doing them is a pain. And it has a lot of stitches where you only do the front loop of the back loop. And with this thin yarn, it's also not a pleasant thing to do. So I'm not sure if the Thoughts of Ireland is going to be a shawl that's gonna be high on my desire to redo. Some patterns I don't mind redoing. Some patterns I do want to redo even. But I don't think this one is going to be one of them. I have a really strong feeling it's not. So that is for another day. We are gonna look into the possible other drops patterns that I have in my stash that we could start making. I also have some bought for another project, which is kinda, it's based on a drops pattern, but it's not drop yarn. I could also consider doing that, start on that when I'm not home this weekend, because I need a new project that's not taking up too much space, which is easier, simple forward, and I think this might be a simple forward one. I will probably sit down tonight and read the pattern, and then see if I think it's simple enough, and if I don't think so, then I'll take with what I know, right? Because there's also what I know, so to say. Da, da, da. 1, 2, 3. I can definitely work my treble after this. That's one thing, that's for sure. Hope everybody is progressing on their projects, or are you just, listening to me in the background doing other things? Which I wouldn't blame you for doing either, actually. because I should probably have started a machine of laundry before sitting down to crochet. And then I need to find and ensure that my nice clothes are washed, because apparently I am heading off to a nice place Saturday, dinner-wise, which basically says that we need to be dressed up nicely. And that means that I need to make sure that my nice clothes is washed. And I admit I don't have as much as I used to, because COVID has not been kind to me. These years of COVID made me gain some kilos, and I've not needed to go out, and I want to drop them again, but I don't want to. I don't want to go out and buy new stuff unless I really need it, right? And now I don't have time. I wasn't warned about needing to gala up. But being unemployed sounds wrong, but it's rather healthy for me, because I actually automatically do more stuff, like I move more and so, compared to when I was still having my job, because that kinda chained me to my working station. I do need to still check. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. The next row is also a bunch of trebles. I see. I could probably have done something nice with that instead. Oh well. It's what it is. Now I'm starting to get the ideas I could maybe have worked into this if I had not frocked it. Originally design idea based on final results. Not what I thought it would be. I also still have the bag that I want to design. It's like a shopper bag. And just the only thing that I'm right now, I had an idea of the hanks. But now I'm not 100% sure. So I am slightly debating on alternatives. And then we also have another challenge these days for us yarn addicts. There are so many sales coming up because of Black Friday. And they tempt a lot. So far, I've been a good girl. I've not bought it. I've not bought yarns. I want to, but I've not done it because, as I said to you a bit earlier, if you were there at least at the time, I need to spend up some stash before getting new yarn. Need to create some room, basically. Which will, especially if I keep frocking, take quite a bit before we're there. So let's hope no more frocking is needed and that the end result is exactly what it's supposed to be. So far it's working up nicely with this new row here. It still needs a good row of stretching and blocking, but it is working up nicely, I would say. It is working up quite nicely. On Monday, we have a first-hand impression review coming up of a book, a crochet book, that contains patterns on how to crochet flowers and tips and tricks for that. A part of me really wants some cotton yarns also, because I also have all the I made first-hand impression reviews of the mini amigurumi books, like mini animals from designed by Sarah and Bondio last winter, and I want to just get some simple 8/4 cottons, like thin cottons, to work them up with. And then start making a little animal per week. That would be kind of cool. But I need some yarn for that, because I don't have enough for... I don't have the right colors for all of the patterns. But the nice thing is Hobby do sell those cottons in bulk. So You can save money on them if you buy them in bulk. We are really getting closer to the end here, huh? So this is the amount we have left. And if there's anyone that has joined us since, we are working on the Thoughts of Ireland shawl. And right now it is a bunch of treble crochets and a bunch of chains. So that is what I'm currently doing. And I do hope you enjoy this view, where you kind of both have me up in the corner with a nice little face. And you have me as if we were basically sitting across the table for one another, crocheting. Then that would be what you would be seeing. So we have our own little crochet cafe. Maybe that's what I should call the lives. Crochet cafe. Crochet and knit cafe, basically. Crafting cafe. It's also an option. I've been thinking about resins, like working with resin, because it's tempting me. I don't know why. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 chains, and I need some yarn. Treble. So yeah, I'm a knife holder, and I'm not understanding how people can do the pencil grip. I know there are really quick pencil grip holders out there, but I tried and we are not working together. So yeah, I'm a knife grip holder. Or should I say I'm a proud knife grip holder? um, there is no right or wrong way to hold a crochet hook. The only thing you need to do is you need to be able to control what you're doing. And then it doesn't really matter if you crochet it with the knife or the pencil hold. It's just a matter of preference. No right or wrong. But I have to say, I have a mad respect for those that can do the pencil grip, because I can't. But it does seem sort of relaxing, I guess. I'm not saying that this isn't. It's just what I'm used to, I guess. But isn't that with all? That's with all. It's just what we're used to. So we are actually heading towards the last cluster here of trebles. And then we've done 2 rows together. So what I am probably going to be needing is a break. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to go up in this one and insert the treble like that. Hallelujah. The next row is chain 4, and then in each of these spaces with the 3 chains, I need to work in 2 treble crochets, chain 1, and 2 treble crochets. Then I need to chain 1 to the next space, etc. And that's basically how that next row is gonna be. This is how we are now looking. But as I said, my hand do need a break. I need a break from this thin yarn. That's usually how it goes when I work these super thin yarns. Eventually I need a break. This definitely will look much nicer once it's blocked, because you can also see here when I stretch it, it looks nicer. You can really see how the pattern comes forth. So it's just a project that needs to get blocked for the most optimal show. Oh, that's really nice to just relax my hands a bit. It's a small hook after all. So this makes me needing. So the thing is, I can't really figure out if I should insert 1 more row up there, but I need to do either 4 or 5 more rows before being completed with this shawl. So there's that. And it's not going to happen this week. I'm just being very realistic. So this last row only took me like 40 minutes, maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. And that's because we are skipping some and doing chains is really quick. And the next row is going to take some longer time because I have to work in 4 trebles in each of those spaces, right? And now I only did 2. So I have like twice the amount of trebles, but I only have a third of the amount of chains to compare. No, half, probably. I don't know. So yeah, there are definitely this difference on that. But yeah, that's how we're currently looking. And not much more to say about that. I'm happy with the progress. I'm not so happy I had to frog it, but we kind of caught up on that. So now it's just as if I didn't frog it at all, progress-wise. Let's see. Do like this. Hello, hello, hello. That's pretty much, at least for that project. I will need to debate what to do we aren't a lot on the stream right now. So what I think I'll do is I will be closing it off here, and then I will be back next week with another stream. I hope you liked how we were looking with the face down kind of view. Let's see if I can actually. No, that's tilted. That's less tilted. Let's see if we can get that one right back on and do like this. So better view. That's basically a bit better view. It's a little bit better resolution, bit better webcam. Yeah. So we finished up. Well, we didn't finish it up, but we finished 2 rows of the Thoughts of Ireland. I have at least 5 rows to go. I thought at least that I calculated 5 rows to go. 4. At least 4, maybe 5 rows to go. Because looking at 1, I would say I actually have 5. And then, yeah, then that shawl is done. And once we get there, I will need to yeah, I'll need to find new drops project. So all my members get to vote on my next drops project. And if there's a tie, I'll usually make some public for it. That's usually how it works out. So, as said, we aren't that many hanging around here. So I am going to take this stream to an end because I do have a few things I need to do before all the things I have to do this weekend. And I'll be back next week. At least the plan is to be back next week, Wednesday, with another probably afternoon stream. So we can hopefully progress on more on this or finish it up or whatever. That's a current idea. Yeah. Thank you for hanging around with me. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry if you're first joining late. If you are, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet, because I do try to go live at least once a week. Have more interesting stuff coming up on the channel. On Monday, we have a first-hand impression review of the book, which is the Crochet it's some crochet flowers. Boom. I should actually know that name on top of my mind, which is kind of embarrassing. I don't. It is. My PC is working. Come on. Flower Garden. Crochet Flower Garden. Yes. It's basically a review of patterns for roses, dahlias, sunflowers, and more. Absolutely gorgeous book. I urge you to pop in on Monday to watch that. Of course, I'll be back Friday with a yarn talk video, just going through everything, including the fact that I had to frog before we could continue. I finished a hat. We'll talk about that also on Friday. And a few other things. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. It was absolutely a pleasure to have you hanging out with me. Sanita, thank you very much for your kind words. Enjoy the rest of your day as well. I will definitely be enjoying my evening. I will go ahead and get some laundry set, and I will prepare for some dinner. And I will have to read through some patterns to see if I'll bring the one or the other bag project with me when I'm heading away this weekend. I think I covered it all. So yeah, thank you for hanging around, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care and happy crafting until this weekend. Bye.